to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connected with Cari here on Jess TV, Jess FM, the Underground Radio C. Of course, we are also streaming live through the Underground Radio C YouTube page. Now, last week, I said the YouTube Facebook page, or the Underground Facebook page, which was wrong. I meant to say the YouTube page. I finally have it up, and I've got a few videos out there. I'm going to be doing kind of like the best of the best, uploading those. And then as I'm going live with my shows, those are also going to be there. So if you're watching this, I know the game is on tonight. I know there's other things happening, which is wonderful and good. So hopefully you'll catch the replay on this, because I would love that. And of course, some of you pop in and out as you will between the live show, and then go back and then you can watch the whole thing over, because tonight it's going to be very interesting to learn a little bit about AI. All the good stuff about it, maybe some bad stuff. I've got some questions, definitely. So make sure you guys stay tuned, because we're also, I want to say, streaming on Meta TV. I almost always forget to add that in, but Meta TV has been our newest platform. It is along with the NCG television network in Italy that we are streaming live through. So I just want to make sure that I include them before we get into things. So welcome to all of my Italy friends over there. I know it's a very, very early morning, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. You're so wonderful. Again, peep a little of this, go back to bed, watch the rest later. It's Sunday morning over there. So enjoy your day, enjoy your weekends. Without further ado, I welcome my guest in with me this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Connected with Cari. Here with me. Cari, how you doing?
Yeah. Thank you, Cari. Thank you. I'm doing fantastic.
You're very welcome. So I usually put up, the guest name and the bio and all that. However, not very many people will go through and read the entire bio. They may read a tiny little bit and that. So with that, I'm going to have you formally introduce yourself, and please go into maybe a little bit of, just kind of the career of getting into what you're into now. And then that will kind of guide us into the rest of the show. All right, with that, take it away.
All right. My name is Allan Marston, and I am an AI enthusiast. I hate calling myself a guru or an expert, because, there are a lot of people out there that are calling them experts and calling themselves experts, and they're really not. But we're all AI enthusiasts. We're all learning, no matter who it is in AI, except for a couple maybe that are really the experts and the gurus, like Sam Altman and many others like that. I got into the AI world, preaching about the AI world, mostly after ChatGPT came out in November of 2022. And I realized that people were thinking it was a trend or a buzzword and were not paying attention to it. So I got involved, mostly starting to teach people what AI was about and what was coming and the latest tools and so on and so forth. So I put together some videos, and I created ZenoshiAl.com, and there's about 65 videos in there. They're pretty basic, but some of them got pretty intense towards the end of the 65 videos. They're still doing more videos. And we started doing a newsletter, and the newsletter goes out every week, and it's got a lot of stuff in it as well. It's all for free. And I wrote a book called The Urgency Code. And, it's really about what we need to do now, the conversations we need to have now. And that's basically what I've been doing. I've been around the technology industry for the last 25 years. I was in retail before that. So I've been around. I've done quite a few things. And I've always been at the forefront of innovation, whether it was the internet. I got in very early. Same thing with AI. I got in early. And I'm using AI. I use AI every day. Not just, there's a lot of people say they're using AI and all they're doing is using ChatGPT. I'm using everything in AI, not everything, but a lot of things in AI. So I encourage you to do the same. I'm a senior citizen doing it, and if you're a young person and you're not playing around with all the AI tools, then it's something you should do. So that's basically it. I'm married. I've got a couple of kids, and they're grown up and out of the house, and so we're empty nesters here. We've got a little doggy as the only one that keeps us on our feet, keeps us active, and that's basically me, Cari.
All that in a nutshell. No, that's not everything. Let's go back to why the interest in technology? Was it something, I'll just love to go like right back and be like, okay, when was like the first time you're like, oh, I love technology, I love doing this, and sort of the hands on the computer, and then just the aha moment with the AI. So if you want to bring us into that, that'd be amazing.
So on the technology front, very early when the internet came out, I just realized we could do more things, and I was one of the first ones to put out a newsletter that was read. I had 18,000 subscribers to that newsletter back in 1995 when newsletters weren't even around, and for a long time it was archived. I mean, it might still be archived. It was called Wisecracks, WISECRAKS. So somebody might still be able to find that somewhere. But it was a pretty simple newsletter. It was back in the day of bulletin boards. I loved the fact that we could do all these different things with AI. I never learned how to code. So people had to learn how to code, how to write HTML to create websites. But I knew that I didn't need to know that stuff. I've always been an action taker. So I knew that I could get others that were smarter than me that could put that stuff together. I just had to have the vision, and then I had to go out and do it. So I raised $1 million in Calgary, started a company, a technology company. We had some great interest from VCs. But we needed to be in the valley, in Silicon Valley. So we got there right at the beginning of 2000. In January 2000, and terrible timing, because by March we were just getting ready to finalize some deals with VCs, and the bottom fell through on the .com crash. So, timing is everything. I often come up with ideas that are way ahead of its time, and it's not fantastic to do that. You've got to be not on the bleeding edge, because you'll bleed a lot, you got to be on the leading edge. So when ChatGPT came out, that's exactly what I did. I mean, I got so excited about it. I'm still excited about AI. I think AI is really going to change the world for the better. Though in my book, when you read the first few chapters, you'll wonder about whether I really think AI is going to change the world, until you get to the latter parts, where I don't just talk about the problems that are going to happen with AI. I talk about the solutions as well. I hate it when people come up with problems and no solutions. So I have solutions. So that's kind of where I've been with technology, and I love the things we can do. The fact that you can get on here, Cari, and you can do this podcast that's become so popular. We couldn't do this prior to 1995. You didn't have all this technology. So I love it for that,
No, it's been absolutely good. And the best part has been, everyone's like, oh, COVID this, COVID that. However, COVID was probably what really launched my career in doing like radio and podcasting, because then it was easier to reach those, like you and I live in the same city, not a problem. We could get together face to face, but even during COVID, we weren't even allowed to do that at one point or a couple points. So then this way I have met, people from across the world, and go on and do some more talking and interviewing them. And it was, it was really interesting, because then it was like, oh, well, we could sit back and watch a show and meet more people and do more things instead of just staying at home. And I mean, yeah, it's great to have time with the family or whatever, but it gave you a little bit more to do, and again, to branch out and make a bigger community instead of just at home. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then, so now it's just getting better and better and better that we have this technology where, with each streaming platform, you can connect to so many outlets, whether it's YouTube or like we're live LinkedIn now. Like I said, the NCG television network in Italy. We're live through Roku TV as well on there. We're live through Facebook. So many different platforms, which again is courtesy, I would say, of AI. Absolutely. So there's been a very positive impact for myself using technology. And again, I'm using it. I probably use it a lot more than a lot of people because I'm using it when I create my posters and when I'm creating my posts, when I put everything up. And then, if I'm doing research on my guests and so on and so forth, like it's huge in my world. And then there's the odd day where I'm like chat GPT, GPT, I was going to say GPT, yeah. GPT. And I'm just like, I'll play around. And I love just like, I'll just search up myself. Oh, who is Cari Hansen? And there's another Cari Hansen in the world. And it's like, okay, cool. You kind of find out, because I love the fact that it digs at each little part of the internet and searches through everything to find the information. So I just love that about it because I'm a nerd. So I could spend hours and hours. So take us through, because there's so many positives, but there's been society and cultural things since probably the 80s where it's like, oh, technology, it's going to take over, like the Terminator movie. We watch those, and I think iRobots. There's those few movies that are out there that go, we kind of were fed, I think, misinformation at some point. So I want to take us through that a little bit. I want to know your thoughts on that. And then let's go into the positives. And like I said, just maybe a couple negatives.
Sure. So let's talk basically about the gloom and doom. I do talk about that in my book too. So I think that the movies and TV and stuff have made it so that we're worried about the apocalypse on human beings. And I really don't see that happening in my lifetime or in your lifetime, Cari, or in any of the younger people's lifetime. I do see what I do see as part of the gloom and doom that people can focus on is that human beings are going to lose their jobs. And that is something that I think there's two phases. The first phase is making sure that we're ready for the next 3 to 5 years. So we could be training ourselves. Don't wait for governments. Don't wait for your company you're working for. Pay the $20 to be a ChatGPT Pro member. I was paying for ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude. I was using all of them. They all have different personalities. So I don't wait for somebody to pay for that for me. I'll just go and do it. Listen, $20 US, I go spend that at the dollar store, for crying out loud. So the excuse that we don't have money for that's incorrect. We just have priorities that maybe are different. And my priority was I wanted to be smarter than anybody else on AI or the people around me on AI. And I've done that. I wanted to be better at my job. I work as an executive vice president of channel at a telecommunications company. So, I wanted to be better at what I was doing. And that's the kinds of things that then eventually created a platform, by the way, called ZenoshiAl.com that has all of those on one platform for the price you'd pay for ChatGPT. So rather than go paying, I did it for me. I was paying $89, $90, $100, and now it was $20, $24 for all of those, Perplexity, everything, all pro versions, all in one. So that is the thing that I think is very important. Start using these tools, start using Midjourney and DALL-E and creating graphics for your things that you're using, and you're doing that, Cari. So, start using the tools to be better at what you're doing for the next 3 to 5 years. If you're not using AI, you're going to get replaced by somebody who's using AI. So that's very, very important. What's going to happen after 5 years? I think by the 2030s, we're going to see AGI come out, artificial general intelligence. And that's going to eliminate most jobs. And I talk about it in my book. It's going to eliminate thousands. 90% of jobs are going to be gone. And I mean, doctors are going to be out of work. And how is that possible? Well, you'd have to read the book to find out. We don't have enough time today to do that. But they're going to lose their jobs. And people are saying, well, then human beings are going to get wiped out. Not true. Not true, because, and they're saying that human beings get wiped out because they have no purpose. That is not true. Think about it, right? Purpose. Is our jobs purpose? Our jobs are not purpose. Look at the retired people. I got brothers that are all retired now, right? And they're busier than ever. You can never get a hold of these guys. They're busier when they had a job. So jobs are not the purpose. The purpose is having more time with your family, having more time to delve into your hobbies, to do the kind of volunteer work that you want to do, helping the homeless and all that kind of stuff. I don't get time to do all that stuff, and I love doing that stuff. So doing all of those things is what is really purposeful. We've been sold this fake thing about jobs being our purpose over the last 100 years, and it's just not true. So we will be fine. Human beings will be fine. Where we won't be fine, and this is what I get into the book with the problems that are out there, is if the government and corporations don't start to do something to make sure that we have some kind of an income. Because where's the income coming if you don't have a job, right? If everybody's unemployed, 90% of people are unemployed, where's the money coming from? There's got to be something else. I talk about an automation dividend, which we can call universal basic income as well, right? Where everybody, so where does that money come from, universal basic income? I talk about that in the book. And I want people to start having this conversation. By the way, the book's also available in Kindle. For some reason, I haven't been able to get the paperback done yet, but it's got the hardcover. You see it behind me here, and the Kindle version. Now, I'm not just trying to sell you on the book. I'm really trying to sell you on starting this conversation about UBI. So UBI, my thing is that you would come up with a bot tax, right? What is a bot tax? It is a tax on automation. It's a levy on automation. It's not to discourage automation. It is to take the money that, a little bit of money from automation that's displacing people and putting it into a fund and not letting the government just use that fund. I talk about how we can do it in a decentralized platform as well. So I've got some experience in the blockchain and stuff like that. So that's where I think we can make a difference. And everybody, if every man, woman, and child had $5,000 a month, and everything's coming down in price because AI is doing all of those things, I think that would be fantastic to do. And it's possible. I know it's possible, but nobody's having that conversation right now. What I'm afraid of, Cari, is that we are going to see that AI is creeping up on us. And so nobody's having this conversation yet because the AI is creeping up. I often think of that, I don't know if you've heard that story about the frog, boiling the frog, right? You throw a frog into hot water and it's going to jump right out. But if you put a frog in water and turn into warm water, cold water, and turn it up, it'll eventually get cooked. We're right now in that position as human beings. We're getting cooked, and the government's not paying attention to it, and the corporations are not paying attention to it. And the AI people that are developing the AI, I started off the book by simply saying they're lying to us. That's how I started off my book, right? I didn't end up doing that in that way, but because I thought that was kind of negative. But basically, that's what they're doing. They're lying to us that AI is not going to take all of our jobs. They're lying. It is going to take all of our jobs.
Yeah.
But
I think like the movie aspect of it, of course, has to be entertaining and interesting. And then, they want to make it futuristic and they want to make it fun. And so, of course, like robots are taking over the world and it's like the fear mongering. But also, like you said, we have to not just stay ignorant, but get the word out there and teach others how to use it, not to be afraid of it. And again, just small increments. And what's like you said, everyone's got a purpose. So how is this AI being purposeful for that? right? So again, like my job, I can use it all the time, with the radio stuff and whatever, and implement that, and it's not even scary at all. And I'm like, why is everybody so afraid? So,
AI should be making it easier to do some of these things. I do think robots are going to be very helpful. I went to a sushi place and I was served by a robot, right?
oh,
So
cool. Yeah.
it actually brings the plate out there and you can take it off the robot server. But robots are going to be very helpful. Where robots are not going to be able to get into and take jobs in the near future, I think are electricians, plumbers. Those kind of jobs are not going to get, the mechanics are not going to, they're not going to lose their jobs right now. Hockey players, professional players are not going to lose their jobs. I talk about that in the book as well. But
Yeah.
I do think everybody else, their robots are going to be able to paint a house from the outside, right?
Mhm.
Robots
Oh,
are gonna be
yeah.
able to do a lot of things. Anything climbing a pole and doing electrical work on the electrical poles. I think they're going to be able to do all of those things.
Yeah.
Are they going to wipe out humanity? I think robots would have to think for themselves, and I think super intelligence is a ways off. I don't think
Yeah.
that's around the corner.
There was, if anyone watches, there's a YouTube channel. It's called Asheville, which is over in the UK. It's an amazing show, and it's about construction and things like that. However, what they did was there was this, how we have like the home and garden show.
Right.
So over there, they were doing this type of like a plant show. So they were setting up, kind of like the booths and things like that. What they did was, of course, you have your different vendors and whatnot. There was one vendor who came in. Now they're starting from scratch, from the ground up, building all these little booths and whatnot. So what was really cool was they brought in a robot and they were doing 3D printing of like a water feature. And they were doing it like right on the spot. So even though the robot was doing, 3D printing and doing everything, the humans have to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like the giant brain, like it was massive box. And then there's like the printer itself. And then the actual robot that does, feeds out the I think it was like some type of mortar, whatever it was. But you still need people to be able to run those computers, hook it all together to be able to watch it. Because what if, the thing falls over or, gets knocked out of place or whatever, like they're still going to be there. And I think those new jobs will actually be more like, more along the lines of the technicians.
Right.
That are running that. And I think in turn, that may even pay more than some of the jobs that we have now.
And you may be right.
Yeah.
That's called a human in the loop, by the way. In AI language, they call that the human in the loop. The human in the loop, they've got a McDonald's restaurant in Texas that the food is prepared by robots.
Mm-hmm.
The order is taken by automated voices, characters, automated characters, AI characters. And the food is delivered out the window with an automated robot.
Right.
There's one guy on that whole premise that makes sure all the technology works, that nothing's going to fail, and that kind of thing. I don't know how much he gets paid, but they've replaced like 30 workers in that McDonald's with one guy that makes sure of all of that. So you might be right, definitely. Right?
Yeah. And then I can see the cost of your overhead going down. But I don't know if your cost would go down or not in your overhead, because if you think about the maintenance for a robot, if you realize if a couple robots fail or something happens, that can be a whole day's worth of work just gone.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if that would be a complete way of the future, unless somehow they can just, make it foolproof. But I don't foresee that happening.
Well, I think that they can, if a robot malfunctions, they can have a backup robot ready to go. I mean, they could have something like that. I mean, once you've got one robot built, you can build hundreds of robots like that and have 2 or 3 sitting in the storeroom ready to go if something happens to the one robot, right?
Right,
so
just wake it up and...
yeah. But But I do think that people need to start doing things with AI. Honestly, I think just start using. I look at the stuff you create, Cari. You created a nice thing that I posted on Facebook with the
waving arm. It was so cute. I was like, I just love having fun with, again, with just doing AI stuff and using some platforms for that. It's so fun and it gets you so creative, and it can be so easy once you know how to do it. Yeah.
And it's just a matter of going and doing it. Notebook LLM. I want to mention a couple of tools, because Notebook LLM is a great tool. If people haven't used Notebook LLM, it's by Google. Go and do that. It's upload a bunch of PDFs. Learn how to use it, right? And how do you learn how to use this, guys? Cari said this earlier. Go into YouTube. YouTube has so many great videos. I have a brother-in-law who can fix anything around the house. He goes to YouTube, right? Just learns how to do it and then goes and does it. You can do the same thing by going with AI and go to YouTube and type in how to use Notebook LLM, right? How to use HeyGen, for example. How to use Pictory, Pictory, right? Those are, HeyGen is using AI characters to say the words you wanted to say. So you come up with the words. How do you come up with the words? So I would come up with ideas on what I wanted to teach. I'm going to give away my secrets for ZenoshiAl.com with the videos that I'm saying 1 to 5 minute videos. I would come up with an idea on what I wanted to teach. I went to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and I said, give me some more information on this. It would give me the information. I would edit it. I would ask it to add more. You could talk. You could go back and forth with these LLMs, and it would give me something that I liked that was a finished product. I then would go into HeyGen and use a character in HeyGen to say the words that I just came up with, right? Or I'd put it into a PowerPoint, upload the PowerPoint, and then HeyGen would take that and space it out and create the whole video for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute video, right? So you have to just go and start practicing with this. If you have a company and you're looking for training videos, or you're looking for, training videos are great. My company now, my telecommunications company, is using AI to create these videos. I'm really proud of them for doing that. So that's the kinds of things that we all need to be doing more of, and I don't think we're doing that enough. But Notebook LLM, I'll come back to that. Once you put all that stuff in, you can even ask it to create a podcast out of it, and 2 AI voices will talk back and forth and create a podcast of all the stuff that you just told them to do. So ZenoshiAl did that. So Cari, not to take away not taking away your job, but it can do that kind of stuff, right?
The funniest thing I've actually seen around has been the baby podcasts, and they're like the little babies, and they're like doing the podcast, and it's like so funny because I saw one, it was like Judge Judy baby, and I was just laughing so hard. It was like the cutest thing. So it can be fun, it can be playful and whatever, but again, there has to be a personality that will, like taking me and putting me as a baby, like you have to have that first original person and go into it, right? You could create some kind of a baby and then put it in there and do all that, but again, there's only a limited amount of stuff that perhaps one person would. You'd still maybe need a team to have an imagination to be able to throw it into the computer, because that computer, it still needs information to be fed to it to create something. It's not going to create it all by itself. It still needs the prompts to go, hey, can you make this a baby with, a baby whale? A whale podcast, and they're all, so it needs to have that purpose for it and go, okay, this is what we're doing, and go from there. So there's always going to be a human on the other end doing something, unless, I don't know, a robot could do it, but it would pick up things. I don't know. It might make a mess.
One of the things you mentioned earlier that I thought very important, and I wanted to mention and I forgot, is ideas. Ideas in the past. There was guys like Gary Vaynerchuk, that would say ideas are worth crap. They're not worth the paper they're written on until they're acted upon, right? Very true. However, in this new age of AI now, ideas are going to be the thing. Sam Altman just did that and said that in his latest blog post. Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI that created ChatGPT, for those that don't know. And he said in that, ideas is what's going to drive. So you can go and get ideas by going into ChatGPT and say, give me 20 ideas and how I can start a business. And it'll go and regurgitate everything that it's been trained upon and come up with an original idea that you as a human being can come up with. That's original. That's something, and you can take that and you can enhance that using ChatGPT. Here's an idea that I've come up with. Give me a way on how I can, give me a step-by-step process on how I can launch this idea, right?
Yeah.
And it'll do that for you. But ideas are going to be even more and more important as we go forward, because at the moment, for at least the next 3 to 5 years, until we get to AGI, artificial general intelligence, I don't see AI coming up with an original idea. You are the one that is going to have to do it. The listeners of the show are the ones that are going to have to do it. So coming up with ideas is going to be very, very important. Go on and then act upon it. The action is the thing. So you need both intelligence and energy. So you need the idea and the energy, the acting upon it to make something happen. And there's no excuse. Today, when I see that people are not making money or they're lagging behind and they don't know what to do, honestly, there's no excuse for that. Not today. No. Don't spend your time on YouTube watching something that is not going to make you money, that's not going to help your family, that you can't leave a legacy about. Spend some time doing those kind of things. People watching. I see some of the kids watching, Minecraft games, people playing against each other. I understand you need some entertainment.
Just sometimes.
Set aside some time to learn, right?
Yeah. That's it. And what is so great about technology, it literally is at our fingertips. So why not implement it, use it, whatever. And parents out there too, I think sometimes they're wary about the kids going and finding things off the internet, but there's precautions that you can take. But also you can sit there and you can also learn with your child and teach them how to use it, whatever, because now more than ever, the children do need to know how to use it. Because like you said, when they get in, say they're in elementary, junior high, what's going to happen when they're in high school in the next few years? And then when they're out going to college and whatever, all these other types of jobs or even schooling, they're going to be sitting in class and they're going to have to use AI to hand in midterms or if they're creating projects with classmates, they're going to have to be able to sit there and use it and explain, how did you come up with this idea, or what steps did you take with AI, whether it was Chat GPT, or did you what other platforms did you use to come up with your answers, right? So they're going to have to know how to do these. And again, I think probably almost every job out there, any career is going to have, like you said, it's going to be implemented somewhere in it, like whether it's, like you said, the food or painting, whatever it may be, people are going to start implementing it because it's going to be a little bit easier. But yeah, the easiest way is to start now, I think, and just get comfortable with it, learn how to do it. Do you have any other tidbits that you want to add to that, and then we'll wrap up? That was already 33 minutes.
I know it's gone really fast. I just wanted to say that there are teenagers making money with AI right now, like serious money. Go read about it. Go see it on YouTube. And they're 30, 35-year-olds saying, I don't know how to use AI. I'm almost 69. And so when I hear somebody saying I'm too old to get into this, and this is, I'm past, and they're 55 or 60, I'm going, you're never too old, right? No. So you just got to have the will to do it. And I don't care who you are. You don't need money. You don't need a lot of money. You can go out and create something for yourself. So in fact, I'm already getting started on a book for teenagers, for young people, for parents to help their kids. And so actually, I got this idea from a parent that I was speaking at an AI summit, and she asked me to speak to her kids, which I'm doing at the end of the month. So I've got that coming up. And I thought, that would be a good book to write, is something that would help parents to guide their kids on how to use AI, even if they don't know how to use AI themselves. So they could use the book as a kind of a workbook to help them, to teach them. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with AI. I really encourage people, sign up for ZenoshiAl.com. It's free. You'll get the newsletter every week, and that will encourage you. I talk about side hustles. Side hustles are a way for you to build insurance against losing a job. I've talked about that forever, and it's even more important today in the age of AI. So that's also in my book. We talk about it a lot in the newsletters that are free. They come out weekly. So that's basically it, Cari. That's my message to people. Use AI. Use it every day. Find a way to use it more than just ChatGPT.
Yeah. I think one of the greatest things, real quick, I'll say is, again, like I use it for my business all the time. And even, I've got forms where I send out, you can book a free call with me and then we can chat, see if you're a good fit to come on the show. And it automatically sends out, the link and everything that, will be for the follow-up. And I think it's so great because then I don't have time to sit there and keep doing emails. I mean, you can do copy paste, but again, it's just nice to have automatic. If you're out doing things, this can come and be sent right away. You don't have to wait till you get home and on the computer and type things out. So there's automated stuff that's like that. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of it. Like you said, even the newsletters, all that stuff. And if you're a business owner and you are go, like yourself, Allan, you said, you went away on holidays and you set up newsletters, you had bang, 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 all ready to go, and you could just go and relax, right? Yeah. So this is the greatest thing about technology. With that, thank you so much for coming on. And then where can everyone find you if they have any questions? And what's the website again?
The website is ZenoshiAl.com. Or ZenoshiAl.com. Okay. You can also go to AllanMarston.com. Is not updated yet, but you can go and look for my book, The Urgency Code, on Amazon. It's available also in Kindle, and I'm connected on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on Facebook. I almost take all invitations on Facebook as well. Mostly, I shouldn't say all, but mostly. But so you can find me a number of ways. Yeah, a number of ways that you can find me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Allan, with that. And again, if you guys have any questions, you want to connect with him. Of course, everyone connected with Cari this evening, but please connect with Allan if you have any questions, comments, and if you're like, I don't know where to start, he's perfect. Just talk to him and have a good conversation about it. Don't be afraid of AI. Just start implementing it, use it slowly, try it out. It might not be for you, but hopefully, you guys will enjoy it because there's a lot of fun things with it, I think. So with that, thank you, Allan.
Thank you, Cari. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, guys, there we have it. Another Connected with Cari in the books. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this evening. Boy, season 10 is coming along pretty good. A few more shows until the end of July, and then I think August we're taking a break, and then in September will be the beginning of season 11. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. In the fall time, of course, the Shift Happens show is on a break right now, but we're going to be back for season 5 in a couple weeks. We have the channel connection happening with myself and Linda in 2 weeks as well. There are still a couple spots available. If you do want to go in and be able to participate on our channel connection, we have some channeling. You can read up on that on my socials and go there. If you have any questions, you can send an email to myself, or you can go through Underground Radio, send a DM over there. We'll get back to you on that end. And with that, have yourselves a great weekend. Go and watch the game. Enjoy. Let's go Oilers. I know I'm not an Oilers fan. We want it in Canada. So, hey, got to support the team, right? Absolutely. With that, have a great weekend, everyone, and stay connected. Goodbye.
gal.
And your gal.
That's right.
All right.
Boom, peace. Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
Yes.
All right. Black out if they act out. Yeah, I did that. Hey, what's up, though?
Well, it's your gal Yaya, and you're here on Yaya's channel. Just kidding. We are here with the great J.U. Take it over, I guess.
I mean, it's not about taking it over. She's new to it. She doesn't know how we do it. You know what it is. All right, you start it off again, and I'm going to keep you and interrupt. It's your man Jay Wu out here in the tropical paradise, and they say you don't bring sand to the beach, but alongside me I have the beautiful co-host Yaya.
Yaya in the building, and we have amazing news for you.
We're outside, not in the building, and the sand is out here on the beach. We're here to talk about Who Got Next Hour on Jess TV.
Hey, and I know it is at Tuesday.
I guess.
You know, wait, let me do that. And I know it is at every Tuesday. 10 o'clock. Okay.